out for training.
I hear you fight monsters too.
Only the best receive my instruction. Begin.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream, and today we're going to be talking about the best TVs to buy right now before Black Friday so that you guys can kind of get ahead of the curve. Before we do, I just want to say a big shout out to every single one of our new members of the channel. I definitely do appreciate it, and as you guys are coming on, typical weekly rules apply. Just feel free to ask your questions and I'll be able to help you out with whatever you guys do have questions on. So we're going to get into the topic that we have today in a couple seconds here. I just want to wait for everybody to kind of just get on first so we don't have to repeat a lot of the same things over and over again. What's going on, Adam? And thank you for being a member of the community. I definitely do appreciate it, man. If you have any questions as well about settings, feel free to ask me whenever. I'll be able to help as much as I can. So as far as what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to dive into it by talking about TVs you want to stay away from this holiday season, because I know it's easy to see those deals and wonder if it's a good thing. And in my inbox lately, I've seen a lot of questions about the Sony X950 and the 900F. I can't stress that those two TVs this holiday season are going to be the low-ball TVs. And I say that because Sony, with the black levels this year and last year, they did not try. And it sounds like a petty, snobby thing. And hey, look, if you're coming from an old TV, right? Like, let's say you have a Westinghouse or a Sano in your bedroom, and you don't care one way or another about black levels, then those TVs will blow you away. I'm not that guy, right? I'm not the person that's going to recommend something that I know is an upgrade only from somebody who has something significantly worse. I'm only going to recommend something if it's significantly better for you to buy, and will keep you, obviously, good for the duration of time. Now, that being said, the Sony TVs that they have this year, not the best. They really aren't. With like the A8G and even arguably the A9G, even though it's like ridiculously more expensive, those two TVs are really, really good as far as what they've done with them. But aside from that, I mean, Sony just isn't trying. So when you see the X800, for example, like I know a lot of people, I mean a lot of people, will end up buying the Sony X850 series. Those TVs don't have local dimming, so you're going to end up basically getting ripped off if you end up buying that. Now, another thing I've seen a lot of people kind of torn between the Q80R and the Q70R, to which I'll just say I don't recommend those TVs either, because those TVs are, again, Samsung's like lazy TVs of 2019. They're holdover TVs to technically get your money and say that they did something for you, but really you're not getting what you deserve. They're worse than last year's TVs by like a lot, and if you compare last year's TVs, you'll see what I mean. I can't stress that. If you can find it, go on Amazon and look for the Q8FN. Now, if you're in a European country, I know it's the Q8DN that you want to look for, and that's what I will say there. As far as the Q70R, I know a lot of people are also comparing that to the Vizio P-Series Quantum. The Vizio P-Series Quantum is one of those TVs that it's a hard sell because of the motion problems that they face and not having an app store or any of the normal things that a lot of these companies have. I think that's really what's going to hold those TVs back. So I think in the long term, it's just going to come down to you as a user and what you're looking for. But ultimately, that's kind of what we're dealing with this holiday season. It's not great per se, because this, again, it's not a great year. Now, I know a lot of people on the other side of that are like, okay, well, should we just wait until 2020 because maybe by then we'll see something better, right? And I think, yeah, technology is always going to be great, but if you get into the loop of waiting until next year, you're always going to be waiting until next year, because you'll say, if I just wait one more year, the technology will improve. And that conversation will never go away, and your kind of crusade for TVs will never end. You'll be that guy, like, literally dragging your family through turmoil, trying to wait for this perfect TV that's just not going to come along, because as time goes on, believe it or not, companies are going to get lazier because social media is enabling them to be as lazy as they want to be. I mean, just look at what happened with the TCL mini LED TV and how it has all these problems, you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. And next year, they're going to talk about all these next level technologies, but again, if you've never seen it, there's room for error, and believe it, in 2019, they're going to be really lazy. I mean, like, as lazy as they can possibly be and cut as many corners as they can cut. What's going on, Chaos? I hope I said that right. Chaos Perez? You said, what's up, homie? I made it again. Thanks for stopping by tonight, man. I appreciate you making it. You said Sony A8G or LG B8. Go with the Sony A8G because the LG B8 is more prone to burn-in. So when you look at LG's panels, they have a kind of like a tier to them. A lot of people don't know this, but the B series is what's called an entry-level OLED panel. Those materials degrade faster than the rest. Some people can have them for years and years and be good, but in most applications, they're entry-level, they're B series, more prone to two things. Dirty screen effect I found as far as like 5% near black, and I've also found that they're more prone to, again, just the burn-in issues, image retention. That's one of the massive things you'll notice immediately is being more prone to that. And the A8G, while it still has image retention, it's more in line with their mid-tier offering that you'd find on the C9 as far as the panel. In fact, like I said in my last video talking about the A8G, it is literally the same exact panel found on the C9, so you really are kind of at that same level. Now, sadly, LG's panels don't get really durable until you step up into the E series and above, and, you know, those TVs are just, like, ridiculously expensive most times. So you'll be better off, I would say, if you're looking at these two TVs and, like, let's say you're looking at the B8. I mean, the B8 right now is going for, like, a little over $1,700, $1,600 sometimes if you find it at a retailer. I think that would probably be the better go for you. To go with the A8G, just simply because not only is it better for processing, but when I tell you, man, the colors that you're going to get out of the thing are basically like QLED with OLED black. You're not going to be disappointed with color, where on LG, especially the B8, I find the reds to be very, very sour. They're like this, again, blood orange. And the best way to describe it, I mean, I really got to post something in the community tab here to show you what I'm talking about, because I always say blood orange, but people really have no idea what I'm talking about. And I think I'll actually do that before, I guess, the end of the stream or something like that, just to show you guys what I'm talking about. But, yeah, to make it a long-winded way of answering your question, Chaos, I would go with the A8G. What's going on, Tank? You said, I just got the 65-inch Q8FN for $1,200. You were saying that was open box. And you said, as a showpiece, you said you have to say it's the most gorgeous TV I've ever owned. Yeah, I mean, that was like my experience with the Q8FN as well. It's not as far as open box or anything, but when I got it, it was, I mean, really, I haven't seen anything better than that. And quite frankly, I mean, still today, it's one of the best looking TVs I've ever seen. Like, it's really quite impressive. So I'm glad you got that deal, man. What's going on, Anthony? You said, are you excited for the Sony X900H? Any predictions? I'm not actually excited for the Sony X900H. Believe it or not, we were actually supposed to have a Sony X900G this year, but Sony walked that claim back, and they walked that whole promotion back. I mean, go look it up. There's even a legitimate promotional video out talking about the Sony X900G. Like, it's a legit confirmed product that they just never brought to market. So I'm not excited, to be honest with you, with what Sony has next, because their mantra is, buy our OLEDs, or we're going to give you what LG gives you, which is gray-black. And I just don't find that acceptable when, in 2017, with the X900E, they were more than willing to give you what you deserved. Now, that being said, as far as predictions go, I'm going to predict they're going to come out with a lot more of the trendy technologies that we've seen. So what is everybody hyped about? You know, they're hyped about Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, IMAX Enhanced, you know, more internet-based features that collect data on you, you know, those kinds of things. And I think they're going to push that a lot more, but ultimately it's going to be a disappointing TV in the end, because Sony's not going to refine their black levels, and they're going to continue to push the Bravia line above all else. So I think that's going to be what continues to happen, and waiting to 2020 to figure that out, I don't think it'll be worth it. Now, you may or may not see the 900 F series come back, or the 900, whatever they end up calling it, H at this point, series come back. I think they'll probably just stick with the 950 series. I think that's like a new thing they're going with now, to kind of eliminate the 900 series altogether, but I can't really say for that. What's going on, Horns? You said, hi, you said, hi, new fan of yours. You were saying, my son broke my Q6FN. Is the Hisense H9F a good replacement? Yeah, man, I mean, the Hisense H9F is the best TV of 2019 so far. Out of everything, including the A8G that I've seen, my memory of the Hisense H9F is just beautifully wonderful, because the colors are literally the best out of every TV on the market. I've never seen a TV with such color and such color capabilities, especially during calibration, right down to having in the color space management option, you can calibrate flesh tones. It's by far like my favorite TV, the most beautiful TV. The motion on that thing is amazing. I totally do regret getting rid of it, if I'm being 100% transparent, even though I have an OLED. But it's kind of like the damage is done, I have an OLED. So, like, I don't have any more space for another TV. But if I did, I would definitely make it that one. Because that is, I mean, I could go on for the whole stream talking about that TV's glory. Because it really is a good TV. Now, things that are not so hot about the H9F. There's a panel lottery because it's a budget TV, and being a budget TV, it's a little bit more on the fragile side, so it doesn't survive very well during transit. So if you order it online, which sadly is one of the only places you can get it, then you're going to run into some situations where the UPS drivers or whoever sends your TV might damage it, and you might have some bright spots that are way abnormal, and I think that's the unfortunate part of it. So everyone's experience is definitely going to be different. But if you're patient and you can kind of wait around a bit, you can get around that. But I still can't say enough about how good it is when you get a good panel. Now, you were saying, would I be missing out on anything? I love what you're doing, and I appreciate that. And yeah, if you, let's say, bought another Q6FN, or what's worse, you bought a Q60R this year, do be advised the Q60R does not have local dimming, like at all. And it is diluted quantum dot technology. It's nowhere near what they were using on 2018 quantum dot TVs. So you're going to run into a less vibrant display that has even more gray-black because there's no local dimming. And it's also edge-lit. So that also plays a factor into blacks not looking the deepest as well. So I think, ultimately speaking, the Hisense H9F makes the absolute most sense in most people's homes because it is not only affordable for a 65-inch anyway, and if you didn't want to buy that, you could buy the 55-inch for like $599, which again, total steal for the kind of product you're getting. So yeah, I'd say you'd definitely be missing out if you didn't pick one of those things up. What's going on? Larry, what's happening, man? You said for a 65-inch, I'm between the 900F and Q8FN. You said, is the Q8FN worth the extra $700? I was leaning towards Samsung for reliability and slightly better video. You were saying, is the H9F durable? Thank you. I would say the H9F is not a durable TV in transit, but as far as, like, you know, parts and how it's made in Taiwan, China, and all the other same places as the other TVs. You're not going to have this disparaging difference in quality control. That is honestly an illusion and a myth created by bigger brands to make you think that you're getting some high-end product, when in reality they're outsourcing the parts and the jobs to, again, the same countries and companies that they bash. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. The thing to worry about with the H9F versus the Q8FN are those kind of like future-proof features. So if you're a gamer, you're not going to have FreeSync. The Q8FN will have that. And one of the things that I pretty much solely as the only person on YouTube, and so far as I know it, on the planet Earth, has praised the Q8FN for, is the soap opera effect features that they give you inside of game mode, which has never been done before their company. So I think Samsung still is leading the charge as far as gaming controls, and what you have as options in that regard. So that's great. But also there's the blooming issue on the H9F. So when you run into small logos like what you'd find in the Amazing Spider-Man video game, you know, that can be pretty jarring and annoying. Again, logos trip up most TVs, but Samsung does a great job of over-dimming, so you run into like a really dark display. That's the thing there. So I think it depends on you. If you're a gamer, it's worth the extra $700. If you like a ridiculously bright TV, like a crazy bright TV, yeah, it's worth it. But I mean, in terms of like everyday value, I mean, not really, because the H9F destroys the Q8FN in color by like a lot, because you can do so much more with color space management, where Samsung has a color space management system, but you can't calibrate at all. Like, you literally make adjustments that do nothing. And it is the biggest laughing stock on the market today. Samsung is the biggest joke on the market today for that. Sorry for all my Samsung guys, but when we're talking about calibration, Samsung's a joke. Like, how are you going to have a professional calibration feature that literally does nothing? I don't understand that. But Samsung's adamant about keeping it going, even in 2019, despite all the critique I've given it over it, and other people as well have probably figured out for themselves that the color space does nothing. So I think, yeah, for the extra $700, you'd probably be better off with the H9F under some circumstances, but definitely not all. What's going on, John Cruz Castro? What's happening, man? You said thank you for your honesty, by the way. Anytime, man. I feel like, honestly, talking to you guys, like, right, all 54 of you right now currently watching, I think honestly, like, real talk, like, person to person, whoever you are, whether you love me or hate me, watching me because you like me, watching me because you just want to troll me, it doesn't matter. I try to be as open as I can with everybody and transparent because I'm no different from you, like, and you gotta understand that. I'm that guy that literally watches all the same YouTubers, all the same videos on these TVs, and goes to the store and hears the same information. And it's bothersome for me, so I try to give honesty back because it belongs to you. Like, you have a right to know what you're saving thousands or hundreds of dollars for, right? And I think, like, to have a resource like this out in the open is something that should exist, but it doesn't, because unfortunately people can get paid to give you professional opinions. And again, it's not a bash on them. Hey, look, they got to make their money. Hey, do you, man, if that's what you do for a living. But honestly, I like to give that information untampered with, so I appreciate somebody acknowledging that effort. So really, thank you, John, for coming forth and giving me the feedback on the honesty that I provide here. I do appreciate that. What's going on? Keep the Faith 1. You said, what's up, bro? Love the channel. 65-inch Q8FN, how's the viewing angles? Absolutely terrible. I would not buy the Q8FN for viewing angles at all. In that regard, the Q80R is a better alternative because viewing angles are day and night significantly better. What's going on? Mickey Conway, and big shout out to Mickey Conway for being one of our members here on the channel. I appreciate that, man. You really do help us out here. Now, you say, hi, I wanted to thank you for making great videos. And that's fantastic. I really do appreciate the support. Like, seriously, truly, I do. It feels good to, again, get the validation for the work that I'm putting into these videos, because a lot of them are really hard to do in my current condition. For those that don't know, I do have nerve damage, and some days I literally can't even walk. So it is very difficult to sit on camera or to unbox TVs and to do a lot of the other things that, you know, you guys want to see. So I might look good on camera, but it's in some cases all for show, because I'm not always 100%. Like, really, I'm not. So it's really cool that you guys are at least appreciating the work I do and all that. I do want to thank you for that. So what's going on? Antoine Williams, what's happening, man? You said that just bought the Q80R 65-inch. Was it a good buy? I just found your channel today. The 65-inch is going for $16.99, rough. Let's just say $16.99 right now. I think for that price, it's not a bad buy. Was it a good buy? I could concede and say it was a good buy. Is it the best purchase you could have made? Not really, to be honest with you. For $16.99, I feel like that's a bit steep. I only think it'd be worth it to you if, like, you really needed those viewing angles above all else. Otherwise, you were probably better off going with the Q8FM if you could have found it, or even another 2017 TV like the Q. Even I would honestly dare to say even the Q7FN has more value than the Q80R because of the One Connect box, the 2000 nits of peak brightness you're able to hit, on top of, again, just having more of the feature sets like HDR Plus, which turns SDR into HDR, which has been ripped out of all 2019 Samsung QLEDs, which is one of the main reasons I widely bash their whole lineup as being a downgrade over last year, because you do miss a lot. So it's not that it wasn't a good buy, it's just there were better options on the market, kind of thing, you know what I mean? Especially considering the 65-inch Q7FN right now, you can pick it up for $1,099 before tax. That's a darn good deal, you know what I mean? Like, so it really does depend. It kind of goes off of what you needed. So if viewing angles were the priority, then yes. Otherwise, not the greatest, but you didn't make out too poorly. If you would have paid the full $2,000 or $1,999 that they were asking for, yeah, you got ripped off. And anyone who did that got ripped off for sure, especially because I'm going to tell you right now, the price of that is going to drop down to everyday price of like $14.99 real soon here, shortly after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And then, you know, you're probably going to be really upset. And so that's the other part of it as well. You have to ask yourself, are you going to be comfortable after Black Friday and Cyber Monday having paid $16.99 plus tax, which would put you well over into, I'd imagine, $1,800? So you have to ask yourself if you're comfortable with that, knowing that it's going to go down to $14.99 really, really soon. And that's just where I'll leave that, man. But yeah, we've got Horns, what's going on? You said, I love your honesty. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you for the fantastic feedback tonight. Adrian Pena, what's going on? You said, just bought my X900F 65 inches. It's super nice. Hey, as long as you like it, that's all that matters. What's going on, Kurt? You said, hi, Quantum, just found your channel. I was looking at a new TV, A8G Q80, or wait till next year. Thanks. So I think it kind of depends. Like, if you're looking for something specific, like, let's say, an LED that gives you OLED level black, I would wait till next year, because a lot of that kind of technology will definitely be available next year, where you can get, like, you know, dual level or dual panels and, like, more, I'd imagine. But honestly, if you're just looking for a really solid TV, I don't think you'd have to wait till next year, because there are quite a few already on the market right now. Now, if we're just going off of what you're looking at right now between the A8G and the Q80R, it's going to come down to these things. The Q80R is vastly superior as far as motion is concerned than the A8G. It also does do a really good job with hitting more brightness, so HDR will be more impactful. However, counteractively, it's not the best with black levels, because it doesn't have a whole lot of local dimming zones, even though it does dim down on text. When you run into near black scenes or really, really dark scenes like in Harry Potter, or that one scene, I don't know if you play the game or not, Shadow of Tomb Raider, the opening scene where Laura is kind of trapped in between these rocks and the flashlight is shining down in this really dramatic lighting, you can run into some situations where you have clouding. So the A8G would be the better pick for that, and also the A8G for movies. I've never seen anything, and I'm going to go on record here, never seen anything give me 3D pop like the A8G does when we're talking about movies. The thing is incredible. Like, literally just the other day here, I was watching The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, a movie that is so ancient, but I'm still blown away by that. And tonight I plan on watching X-Men Dark Phoenix or something like that. I think that's the name of the movie. I don't know. I got to check. It's like one of these things I sign up for a subscription service and, you know, get the stuff sent to me after I put it in my queue or whatever. But and I'm planning on watching that on just the regular Blu-ray, because I don't really care much for 4K, because I hate HDR, and 4Ks unfortunately look worse when you don't use HDR. So I just use Blu-ray these days. But either way, I'm excited to see what that looks like, because Aquaman was looking right on this TV. I'm not gonna lie, I was dying with how good it looked. I might even actually try to craft some way to show you. Of course, I'll go over legally how I can push this out as a video and do it kind of like a skeezy way, where I'll do a quotation mark review of Aquaman, but you guys know I'm really just showing you what it looks like on the TV. Sadly, I can't do it that way. I have to do it as probably like a review quotation mark, so that way they don't slam the video for copyright infringement and I can claim it's a transformative piece and the whole legal nine. You guys already know. But either way, we could probably get it out there. Now, that being said, yeah, that's what I'd do. I'd probably go with the AAG for the movies, and the Q80R for the other things. What's going on, Larry Lee? What's happening, man? You said thank you so much for your response. Anytime, man. I'm here just to help out however I can, so I'm glad that you trust me to be able to help you with that. You said your expertise is impressive and so helpful. I will get the H9F. I appreciate you trusting again in my expertise and experience, and if you need any help whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me on these live streams. You know I'm here for you, man. If you've got any additional questions about the H9F, hey, feel free to ask. What's going on, Anthony? You said, will Sony carry over the 950 to 2020 the same way they carried over the X900F in 2019? You know, that's a really good question, and I can't honestly say, but given the current status of things, it wouldn't shock me if they did that, because Sony is kind of scaling back more and more and more. I mean, I've never seen an OLED so cheaply made as the A8G in my life. No OLED on the market is as cheaply made as this TV that I have ever seen. Corner to corner plastic, the cheapest grade plastic. It feels like when you touch it, it's a $400 or $500 TV, even though they wanted $2,000 for it. I mean, really. So given that, I would say that maybe there might be some price cuts or some serious tech. I can't tell you which one is going to happen, but I think they're trying to cut costs, if you ask me. But we'll see how it goes. What's going on, John? You said any options for the 75-inch... any opinion on the 75-inch Quantum X? I think that size is a little too big as far as 4K imagery. For 8K, it would have been fantastic because that's appropriate. But overall, the reason I think that is because, again, when you go to a 4K image, that's only an 8 megapixel, again, image that you're blowing up upwards of 75 inches. So if you can only imagine, that's like a really crappy point-and-shoot camera's resolution just being expanded upwards of 75 inches. And people keep doing that and thinking that it's somehow better, but it is really, literally, quite literally worse. And the best example I can give all of you guys watching right now, not just John here, the best example I can give you of why I don't recommend 75 inches for most people on 4K, if not everybody on 4K, that within reason, like if you sit really far away, you have no choice. But other than that, I don't recommend it because look at YouTube, right? You know how when you watch a YouTube video on your phone and it's in this tiny little box, it's sharp, it's clean, it looks fantastic, and then sometimes when you go full screen on the same exact phone, things start to fall apart? Well, that's because, again, the larger you make an image, you're just zooming in an image of a low resolution sometimes, and that doesn't necessarily yield better results. So bigger isn't always better. But the current market is pushing that bigger is better. You need a 77, you need an 82, you need the largest out there, and they're not telling you about the resolution depreciation that you're going to be seeing. So, no, I wouldn't say that that would be the best size. If you could go to a 65, that would be more ideal. But if you have no choice and you're fixed on a 75, then my opinion on the P-Series Quantum specifically is that it is a terrible TV for motion. If you can forgive the motion, then you only have like maybe two other things you have to watch out for. It has some issues where you're going to run into some black uniformity issues upon turning on the TV. Every time you're going to see clouding, and then also in some scenes you can see blooming, really bad blooming that looks really wild and just out of place. So if you're okay with that, then that would be something I would recommend. Also, viewing angles are very, very, very bad. I mean, moving off in just a slight tilt from like either direction as you sit on the couch, like moving a seat, would result in some really bad like black levels. So just be mindful of that. And there are occasional audio dropouts, so that is something as well to think about, along with not having an app store. If all of those things don't scare you away, it does have quantum.color that's pretty impressive, and the brightness is more than adequate for today's market, and it is capable of hitting deep black in most situations and most dark scenes, so you shouldn't have a problem in that regard. I think overall, though, for what they're asking, I think maybe you could do a little better than the Vizio. I'd probably wait off on that, maybe look around and see what else I can do, man. What's going on? We've got the guy named Fomaco1. What's going on? You say, yeah, dude, your content is definitely good and helps. Real talk, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I mean, it's always good to get the feedback for sure. Tank, you said, is there anywhere I can get the Q8FN calibrations? So all my settings for the Q8FN and prior televisions that I have, dating back, I believe, to a year, are made exclusive for members of the channel for $4.99. The logic behind that is, again, just giving more value to people who support the channel, believe in what we do here, and help us put out these videos, because, again, to get, again, all the equipment and all the time to do this, it does cost me quite a lot of money out of pocket, and I am trying to build the channel, so I can't always do that for free, unfortunately, if I want to stay relevant and compete, especially with the growing number of copycat channels out there. So I have to do what I have to do to keep our channel alive, our community alive, and making settings available for everybody is not something I'm going to be able to do for the long time that I've been doing it. So unfortunately, that is how you get it. But fortunately, once you do become a member, I'm able to give you all the support that you need. And we have a lot of new members, and I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who has supported the channel and been very understanding through this process of, again, how things are changing and like moving forward. So I really do appreciate all the new members, and feel free to reach out however you can. Now, the other part to that is, I was seeing if I become a member, I only get the calibrations done that month, or am I wrong? No, you're not wrong. I mean, well, yes, you are kind of wrong. So you get calibrations done from not only that month, but like the entire history of doing calibrations basically on the channel. And honestly, I dated it back to like a year, because anything past a year you won't have access to on the market anyway. And then from like the year, basically, I'd say up to like from like the 900F, I believe, all the way up to now, that's where I kind of have it. And anything going forward, you guys will be getting access to that as well, which going forward there'll obviously be new things. And just so you guys know, I am definitely planning some new things that some of you guys will be really excited about. Don't want to spoil anything just yet though. And we've got Jose. What's going on, man? You said any 75-inch TV recommendations for a non-gamer? besides the 940E? Honestly, not really. I think next year will yield better results as far as 75 inches because they'll probably go up to 8K. I think that then they'll probably be more reasonable for that. But right now, I don't have much besides the X940E. What's going on? AA1177. Quite the name you've got there, man. What's going on? You said, I want the AHG, but the B9 for gaming. You said, I play really competitive, so I need low input lag. If you play any kind of input lag based game that like is really demanding on you, the AHG is not going to be a good TV at all. It's total garbage for input lag. Honestly, the worst OLED on the market for gaming when you talk about competitive gaming. So for that, the B9 wins by default because the input lag is day and night better, and that's just black and white as it gets, you know what I mean? What's going on? Fomico1, you said, do you think I'll be okay not having a 75-inch Samsung Q900R calibrated? I mean, no, because Samsung on their newer TVs definitely needs some sort of adjustment, augmentations, and calibrations to get their awkward colors correct. And even then, some of the tinting that happens in the grayscale just can't be corrected either way. And the color calibration can't be done no matter how hard you do color calibration or calibration of any kind. So that's one of the downsides to paying to having the new Samsung's calibrated, or any modern QLED anyway. It's just not going to be as accurate as some other TVs. But yeah, now you said it's mainly going to be for gaming on the Xbox One. So yeah, I mean, for gaming, I think you can get by with just getting some really good settings, you know. I don't think it's fully necessary to calibrate it because when you're in video games, you're not really going to notice all that much. I think the calibration part comes more for cinematics and for film, because then you have a whole range of different studios using different lighting methods and different kinds of technologies for grading their footage. So I think that would probably play more of a role than video games, where it's not as different as movies. What's going on, Davister is boss. You said LG C9 is a solid option, some nice sales on it, and you said you got yours for $800 off. That's not bad. $800 off is a good sale. Not bad at all. And it's not like the C9 is a horrible TV, but for right now, it is, because it is overpriced. Ridiculously overpriced. And in a couple of months, few months here, you'll see exactly what I mean when they start falling in price. Like, $2,099 for an LG OLED C9 is way too much money, and I'm just being as real as I can about that. So I think maybe if they would have had the price realistically, like honestly, like $19.99, they wouldn't have had so much pushback from me. But I think just going that extra mile and charging that extra $100 there, that's too much, dude. Way too much, especially for the quality that's not there for that kind of image. And even $2,000 is a bit steep for what they're offering, because to be honest, you're not going to be future-proof with these features. Like, you're not. The best thing you got is the input lag, because that's rock solid. But I mean, there's a whole thing that goes into it, but as long as you're getting a good deal on it, that's all that matters, right? Helpful Servant, what's going on, man? You said hi, Quantum. How are you doing, man? I'm actually doing pretty decent this evening. I'm not like falling out or dying or anything. I'm actually ambulatory this evening, so it's quite nice. I'm enjoying some sort of vitality today instead of being drained and weak. So it is nice to feel normal for once. I appreciate you asking, and I will return the favor, man. How are you doing tonight? How's the family? How's everybody doing, man? Eric Marsh, what's happening, man? You said love your side-by-side comparison videos. Thank you. You said wish you had a Z9D so we could see how that. I wish too. That'd be cool to see the Z9D versus the Q8FN. You were saying the two kings going up against each other. Anyway, your info is second to none. Second to none on technology. Thank you, and I appreciate your kind words and high praises there, most definitely. And I definitely wish I could do that comparison. Heck, I still wish I had access to a Z9D. Being honest, you know, full disclosure, if I had access to a Z9D at the time I bought my OLED, I probably would have bought the Z9D over the OLED. Just saying. I know a lot of people get like really hung up about the viewing angles. I rarely ever use that feature. I go out of my way, now that I have it, to use it more because I have it. But if I didn't have it, it really doesn't make a big deal, because I literally always watch from dead center, so I don't really have that problem. But yeah, that would have been cool. Would you suggest DVD or Blu-ray Wonderful World of Wonder calibrating? I would recommend the Blu-ray only. The DVD is not going to cover or encompass the full suite of things, and you're not going to get the full effect out of it at all buying the DVD. I know the DVD is widely accessible, and it's like the easier thing to find. The Blu-ray is like the hardest thing to find. It is like one of those rare, like baseball card type, rare, hard to find type things. But if you can get your hands on one of those things, I highly recommend you do, because it is literally the best calibration disc on the market today. I know a lot of people are like really hyping up like the new Munsell and Spears disc for 4K. I don't care about that stuff. I care about real content that people already own, like Toy Story and Nightmare Before Christmas, and seeing that stuff on a TV. And that calibration disc has all of those clips and footages and just put there in the right way, and it's fantastic, man. That's I can't say enough about the Wonderful World of Wonder calibration disc. And you also get audio as well if you don't know how to calibrate your audio system. So even though it won't obviously have Dolby Atmos covered, it's still pretty sick. What's going on, Laurie Singer? What's happening, man? You said, is the Q9FN worth it at $14.99? A resounding yes. That is a fantastic deal. I even still pop over and look at it like, man, I mean, the colors weren't my favorite, but damn, at that price, though, that'll make you think about some things. So yeah, definitely go for it, dude. That's a great deal. Fantastic deal. And you just literally crapped on everybody that bought it for like $3,400, $3,200 at launch. I'm telling you, they're fuming right now, seeing it at $14.99. I'm just saying. But what's going on? Hey, bro, I just got to be this guy for a second. You're crazy. Anyone who's out there wondering if you think TVs aren't going to depreciate like this from 2019. So think about that when you're making your purchases. Don't go in so high. Like if you're going in at the highest dollar amount for your C9s, because I know a lot of people are doing that lately. Like that's like the TV people are going to. I see the most coverage on. If you buy that TV at full dollar amount, you're going to run into a situation where it depreciates in value and you paid full price and you get to watch that price go down, remembering the full value you paid for it. Don't be that guy. That does not feel good. What's going on, Zazel? What's happening, man? You said, so I went to Best Buy yesterday and I looked at the Q80R and the Sony X950G. The Samsung had a good color, or had good color, can't read tonight, and you said, but the Sony had better detail to me, and the Sony still has good color to me. Well, I think it's not like the X950G looks terrible. I mean, I fell in love with it, and I would have kept it if it wasn't for the black level. So I think the color is good. It has good color, and if you're comparing it to the Q80R, it's important you understand this, guys. The 2019 QLEDs are downgrades from last year, so the quantum dot color coverage is nowhere near as vibrant or as saturated as it was last year. It is worse. Now, they claim it's because of the new filters that they put on, or whatever excuse Samsung gives, but at the end of the day, you're getting a lesser image quality than you got last year from the same company, and you're paying more this year to do that. So they're having to justify it with viewing angles. And honestly, I don't care about looking off axis more than I do about my overall picture quality. But they want to try to crap on LG, if you guys have noticed, and the string of like very hateful videos about LG's picture quality, and even falsifying their data like they did by saying the Q90R is over 2100 nits. Yeah, okay, Samsung. I tested it myself, and that thing was like 1300 nits, like not even touching 2000. But I'll digress and just say that it's a downgrade for sure. So the Sony, not a bad TV as far as color, and you know, that's not a problem. It's just when going up against the QLEDs this year from Samsung, I would not go off of that. Compare it against an H9F. You'll see what I'm talking about when I say the color is just day and night different, and Sony's color is not exactly as vibrant as the best. That being said, still pretty good, and that X1 Ultimate chip, fantastic, but the motion issues that result of that chip, not so much. What's going on, Zazel? You also say, may go with that, but not sure, but also may go with the Q80R when it's cheaper. If you like motion, you'd probably be better off with the Q80R. If you like upscaling, the Sony. Also, gaming features better on the Samsung, so it really does depend. I think if you're more of a movie guy, the Sony would be a better deal. Well, not really, because the black level. So it's really kind of like, you know, what are you willing to sacrifice? and that's the game that 2019 is thrust before everybody watching. And so I know a lot of you guys are wondering what the best TVs are right now, so you know that's what we're here to talk about. We've got MG Morg. I hope I said that right. What's going on, man? You said, I just joined. I didn't hear the Q9FN was worth it at the $1,500 price. And then you were saying, do you have settings and support for the Q9 like the Q8 if I join? I have, like, one setting for the Q9FN. I gave up shortly after because, I mean, it was a very difficult TV to get where I wanted. And I quickly realized no matter how hard I try, it's never going to yield the kind of image that I want out of it. So that being said, I do have settings for them, but again, it's as good as that TV can kind of get. It might be fantastic for you, but, you know, the Q9FN in general for my standards was just subpar, and I didn't see what I was wanting to see out of that image. So that's where we kind of have to leave that. But if you need help, you know, I can help you tweak some things around. You can send me the settings you have. And this is, again, for all my members out there wondering, feel free to send me your settings, and I can help you find the settings that work best for you. As kind of like a consultation kind of thing, I can sit there and work with you guys, seriously, so don't worry about that. What's going on? Burnt Orange for Life. You said, which manufacturer does soap opera effect the best? I want motion with little to no artifacting. Right now in today's current market, the Hisense H9F is #1, and then after that it would be something like the Samsung Q80R from my experience. And in general, Samsung this year is actually better for artifacting than pretty much everybody else. LG would be after them because particularly their OLED line, I must specify, their OLED line does better. I believe, than even Sony's OLED line because they have tons of artifacts. And this year, Sony's artifacting game is really out of control. They have way too many artifacts on all of their TVs, and I think that's a problem. And it really happens when you have panning objects that intersect one another. So, you know, I mean, like, if you're watching a movie and they're in a car and they're riding past a chain link fence while in that car, the artifacts are going to be ridiculous on a Sony TV this year. So that's not something you want. You probably might want to go with some of those other suggestions. What's going on, Sajender? What's up, man? You said, hey, Quantum, which TV would you buy for a very bright living room for a very wide seating arrangement? I would buy for a very wide seating arrangement. It depends on the budget that I would have at the time, but if I had options, I probably would go with an OLED. Because I just don't feel like playing the game with Samsung this year with their QLEDs, and Samsung's getting worse as far as their updates, where they're just like taking away performance altogether, like what they're doing to the 2018 QLEDs because they're brighter, more colorful, so they're issuing patches out to make them dimmer and less saturated, and I'm not having that, and Samsung can kick rocks with that. So I don't know, I wouldn't trust any kind of TV that they put out because they'll just mess them up when they want to sell you something new if you are connected online. So, you know, there's that aspect of it. What's going on, Seesaw? What's happening, man? You said, hey, Quantum, do HDMI switchers downgrade the video quality? Yes, because it's not the native feed. You said, Builder only let me one HDMI in the wall. Yeah, I mean, HDMI switchers do degrade the quality. You can try to find some good ones, but ultimately it's not ideal because it will downgrade the quality of image that you will appreciate. Chintu Pat, what's happening? You said, why people pushing for 8K TVs next year and we still live and we still have live TV only 720 and 1080i. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the market we live in. They know that they can sell it because it's new, and you don't have it. And if you don't have it, then clearly you want it. Or at least that's their mindset, so they're going to keep pushing it for sure. But I agree with you. I mean, I think we need to at least get 1080p across the board for live TV. None of this 480p garbage anymore. And everybody needs to get rid of DVDs. We need to start worldwide accepting Blu-ray minimally as the standard. But that hasn't even happened. You still have many Japan anime shows like Naruto and Bleach and all, like a lot of stuff just coming out on DVD. So yeah, I don't understand it either, but hey, that's our market, right? What's going on, Gator? You said, hello, you still highly recommend the H9F? Absolutely, it's a fantastic TV. Larry, what's going on? You said, is the H9F good for movies and sports? Not a gamer. Yes, it's a great TV for both uses. What's going on, Nut79 Full? You said, would you recommend a refurbished? Nope. No refurbished TVs, guys. You'll lose your warranty if you do that, and if anything happens to that TV after that point in time, the manufacturer will tell you you have a used TV and there's nothing they can do, so you're literally screwed. Do not buy a refurbished TV. I can't stress that. And also, in my experience, refurbished TVs have been known to re-break again with the same issue that caused them to be refurbished in the first place. So you're buying already damaged goods. You do not want to do that. It's really up to the person that rebuilt and repaired the TV. It's like anything else that repairs, you know, like imagine a used car with car problems. Somebody said, yeah, I just had the engine replaced. But if they replaced it with bad parts, then you can run into more engine failures. So it's the same concept here. So be very careful with refurbished. I would avoid it altogether. Lou, what's going on, man? You said, hi, thanks for all the information. You said, do you think the 55-inch is big enough for seats about 8 to 9 feet away? I think that is definitely pushing it, but you might be able to get away with it for sure, because for the latter part of, I would say, 2.5 years, I've been using a 55-inch for, what was it? It was well over 20 feet away, you know, like 20, 25 feet away. So I think you can get away with a 55 at 8 to 9 feet. I'm absolutely nobody to talk in that regard. But the closer to that you can get, the more immersive, obviously, but you should be fine, most definitely. You should definitely be able to get away with it, because I didn't have any real problems until later down the road when I had to upgrade to a 65. AP the Shooter, what's going on, man? You said, what's good? And what's going on, man? I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. I am definitely feeling better. You said, I've tried to join. I can't do it from my phone. You said, but it's available on Android. And you said, I get my Q8F in tomorrow. Gonna need those calibrations. LOL. Trying to join. Yeah, I appreciate you trying to join, man. And sorry it's giving you some trouble. I really wish I could help more with that, but the settings are definitely created into the TV settings playlist that I have for you guys, and if you need that, just message me or, you know, contact me in any way and I'll give you that information. So I definitely appreciate you stopping by tonight and relaying that to me. You sound better tonight, well rested, healthy. Yeah, I definitely feel a little bit better tonight. You know, I'm not as sickly as I usually am, so it definitely was great. He said, my family is doing well, excited about our new Q8FN. Yeah, I mean, it's a really great TV, so I think you guys are going to have a load of fun with it, man. Definitely. I think my phone, for some reason, it won't let me super chat. Yeah, I mean, sometimes phones act up, especially after updates. I'm having some issues with mine as well with YouTube, where I can't even access the comments sometimes. Like, literally, I can't see likes, dislikes, comments, nothing. It just gives me an error message, and it's been happening lately after I've updated YouTube, so I don't know what the heck, but sometimes it's weird like that. Man, you said, man, looking all over on how to become a member. Is there a button somewhere? The Patreon button doesn't work. To become a member, for anybody wondering, it's right next to the subscribe button. So, like, go to the home page of the channel, the main channel homepage, and then right next to subscribe, there'll be a blue button. I think it's blue, right? Let me see. Yeah, it's blue, and it just says join right next to my subscriber count, and it's right there, guys. And that's how you do it. What's going on, the race? You said, I paid $2,300 for a 65-inch Q8FN, and I love it. $14.99 for Q9FN. Sign me up. I'm excited. Hey, that's a good deal, man. I'm telling you, bro. It sounds really legit. What's going on, Zazel? You said, I would like to get the H9F, but worried about reliability and longevity. Don't be. Same parts, same manufacturer. And it's not like they're an inexperienced company, because they are the company Sharp. So if you know Sharp with the Sharp Aquos brand, it's just been rebranded Hisense. It's the same thing. So don't be too scared about that. What's going on, Fortnite? I can't read all that, but what's going on, Fortnite? You said, you said, I tried to pick up the Vizio P-Series Quantum X for $970. Any good? At $970, the Vizio P-Series Quantum X becomes acceptable, and yeah, I would say it's good for that price, because the shortcomings you do have are kind of in line with that price tier. Ronald, what's going on? You said, I purchased a Q80R from Best Buy, $1,300 to $1,400 with tax. All right, that's not bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad depending on the size. Healthful Servant says $250 for Disney WoW Blu-ray. Yeah, the thing just skyrocketed in price. I was lucky. I was one of the ones that bought it back in 2013 when they were normal price of like $19, but it gained such popularity and such value for what it does that it literally is like the king of all calibration discs, even by today's standards. Like, I can't say enough about it. I just hate that, you know, obviously you have your price gougers. I don't know, maybe you get lucky and find one on eBay for the cheap, but the thing holds value really well, so I wouldn't anticipate it. Great videos, following your videos for some time. What about the UK market? Maybe under $2,000, looking for 75-inch. Q8 is difficult to find. For the 75-inch in the UK market, I really don't have much, especially because I don't have access to a lot of the stuff. So if you had a couple options you wanted to run by me, I can try to give you the best prognosis for you, man. What's going on, Big Cloud Gaming? Thanks for stopping by, man. We have unassisted, I think. Assisted. I don't know. Scented? I can't read that. What's going on, man? You said distance viewing around 8 feet. Viewing around 8 feet. You could get away with a 55 at around 8 feet, most definitely. Sitting 8 feet away from it, yeah, you should be fine. Helpful Servant says, because Ethernet is built into the HDMI cables, how do you keep the TV offline if your PlayStation is connected to the internet? Just go into the TV and just manually shut everything off, and that should do the trick for you. David, what's going on? Any other suggestions? Any other suggestions as far as what? As far as TVs? Not necessarily. There's not a whole lot going on in the TV front. I mean, as far as TVs are concerned, the best TVs to buy for Black Friday right now are going to be, it's going to go by tier. It's really going to depend. Like, because you can argue that, you know, you like OLED, you might like QLED, but I'm just going to kind of go over as much as I can. So let me whip out my handy dandy cheat sheet. I update these things as often as I can, but as follows: you have the LG B9 right now. That's if you need like gaming input lag, like that's the priority, but you also want an OLED, then that's going to be the best OLED to get for that particular thing. If you wanted just like the best budget OLED period, you wanted the lowest price possible you could get on an OLED, even a 55-inch, the LG B8 is king right now because you're not going to find anything lower. You wanted the best OLED period, then the A8G. If you wanted the best QLED TV on the market right now, the Hisense H9F, even though it has some local dimming issues with black levels, the overall color performance and calibration capabilities surpass like everybody, and it really, seriously, compare it to other things, you'll see what I mean with that. If you're looking for like the best 43-inch television, that would be the Vizio M series. As far as 75-inch, if you really had no choice, I would say the Vizio P Series Quantum from 2019, not the X, the regular Quantum. If you could find the Q8FN, that would be the ideal choice over that. I mean, you can always try if you want like a really budget TV, like let's say you're like really low, the Hisense this year, the H8F would be one of my top recommendations as well. So again, it really just depends on how you guys are looking at these TVs and what you're looking for as to who this is going to be helpful to. So I hope that kind of stuff helped out there. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have for that. And as far as the best LED TV for gaming at 65 inches, I'm Hisense H9F all day, every day. With it was really low input lag. It was like 13.5 on the input lag milliseconds. So it's really, really low. It's not bad at all. What's going on, Mickey Conway? What's happening? You said trying to join. Try to join on your computer. I joined through my computer, and you said join on the computer to become a member. And I appreciate you as well, man, for helping out other people inquiring on how to do that. So if the app is giving you guys some trouble, try going through the actual desktop or laptop version of the YouTube application. That might solve the problem there as well. Do you play shooters? No, I don't play shooters. I'm too casual for that. I like open world games, hack and slash type deals like Rise, Son of Rome. Not really the whole, like, you know, get her done kind of like Call of Duty kind of guy. That's not my thing. How long does it typically take for you to calibrate a TV usually, bro? It depends on my mood. If I'm being lazy and I really just don't care, I'll just do it within the first hour. I can knock it out usually. If I'm really trying to take time with it, then I'll obviously have to break it in for 24 hours and do the whole 9 yards. But I mean, typically speaking, if you wanted to do even like a quick calibration, you could just do like a 2-point grayscale calibration, ignore the 10-point or 20-point or whatever it is, right? You can ignore that part, and then you can knock it out within, I would say realistically, 30 minutes if you really, really wanted to like shortcut it. And it really just depends on your mood. So it varies per TV. Some TVs also are harder to calibrate than others, like Samsung TVs suck to calibrate, Sony's are ridiculously easy to calibrate, LG's take life to calibrate, unless you run it through the auto cal thing. But even if you do that, like, the results are still quite crappy, and you need to put a lot of work into color space to make things look normal. So it really does depend. What's going on, Dustin? You said I've purchased, you said I've already got my Hisense H9F and was the best TV purchase I have ever made. Look forward to seeing 2019 Hisense, or 2020 Hisense. Yeah, me too. I wonder what they'll do next year. Flame Heater, what's going on? You said, did you hear about YouTube Copa stuff? I did, and it took me the longest time to like set my channel, because they kept prompting me, and they're like, hey, are you for kids, or what's the deal with that? And I'm like, yeah, I know I'm legally required to do this, but later, bro. And I finally got around to doing it, so obviously I'm not for kids. And for anybody who has a YouTube channel wondering, anyone under 13 is considered a kid, 13 and under considered a kid. My audience is obviously grown men and women. You know, we're not kids here, so that's not my target audience. But yeah, I did hear about that. You said you have to list your videos for kids, and it's not just, and you said, and not for kids, and you can get in trouble if you do it correctly, up to $42,000. Yeah, I heard that part from my wife, because I watched that video that YouTube put out where they're like, this is very important for you if you're a content creator, and you are legally required to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, you're so negative. Why are you so negative, right? So I just couldn't even finish the video. I was just over it. And my wife ended up watching the same video somewhere else and getting that information because people are talking about it because it's a popular issue right now. And yeah, so I did hear about Copa. Apparently YouTube got sued because they were collecting data on minors, and now they want to push minors off the platform by asking everybody to specify, are you for kids or not? And people with kids channels are now losing a good majority of their revenue because they're getting demonetized for kid videos because you can't collect data on minors is what they're using. But we all know it's because YouTube just lost millions of dollars, and they're not about those kids anymore. It's not so cute anymore when you lose money, especially over 100 mil. So yeah, I get it. What's going on, Moody? You said, should I buy the C9 or A9G? The A9G would be the better bet for movies all day, every day. The X1 Ultimate chip is the best picture processing chip on planet Earth today at the consumer level. Fact, bro. You won't find anything better than that. What's going on, AP the Shooter? You said, I guess I'm not the only one with this issue. Don't worry even if I gotta reach out on Facebook. I'll let you know it's me. Said, thanks for the advice and keeping it 100. Most definitely, man. And what is it? Desktop or laptop? RH, what's going on? You said H9F or X800G. I would never recommend a Sony X800G. You have literally no local dimming, and it's edge lit, so you'd be better off with the H9F. And it's just not. That's a no. That's a hard no. But yeah, I would avoid that TV and go with the H9F. Sharp supposedly coming back next year. We might see. You have to pick one TV to save the universe. Which one would it be? The universe would burn. I would not be able to pick just one TV because they have too many shortcomings, and I honestly can't pick. What's going on? All Real Gamer, or A Real Gamer. That was hard to read. I don't know why. A Real Gamer 82. What's going on? In the UK, Panasonic GZ2000 is rocking. It might be, but it's not available in the States, so I can't really speak to it. I can only say what I have here. Though I will say I've heard from people in the UK as well that the G series is not as good with upscaling and picture processing as Sony is, particularly when we get to tone mapping. And I think that for me is still gonna weigh true when I see it. So if they're honing in on something very specific like that, I think the same thing might hold for me. But this is not to say that Panasonic doesn't make an awesome TV. They just have some sort of weird beef with the US where they're just like, we're not giving you any of our TVs ever. You can just forget yourselves. You can have our $400, $500 Blu-ray player though, but not our TVs. Makes no sense. But that's Panasonic for us in the States. What's going on, Tom? You said, what's the best 75-inch TV needed for the living room? You said, you're the best, bro, thanks. And you were saying thanks for everything. Best 75-inch right now, I'd probably say just try to make a leap for the 75-inch Vizio P-Series Quantum if you can, because it's pretty cheap. And, you know, honestly speaking, I can't really say that you'll be able to find a Q8FN, and a lot of the other 75 inches aren't really worth it right now at the prices that they're charging. Lewis, what's going on? You said bought a Q6FN 75-inch for $1,500 and a 5-year warranty so far. I love it. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a great, I mean, yeah, why not? Jesus, what's going on? You said a Quantum, new viewer here, trying to find out the difference between the H9F. That's going to be quantum dots, brighter, overall just a much better TV. So the H9F is going to trounce the H8F. So I hope that helps. And thank you as well for the awesome feedback. Alright guys, so at this time I'm going to end up wrapping up the live stream and kind of ending the live stream. If you guys have questions, just leave them on this video and I'll try to answer. I see a couple of you guys here are asking some more questions. I know. Just try to leave them in the comment section of this video and I'll try to get to you guys, but I do have to get going here. But I do want to thank you guys for stopping by and try to make it to another live stream next Friday so that I can get these questions answered a lot sooner. But yeah, so far as like TVs for Black Friday, again, the best ones that you can buy are going to be the following ones. Is going to be, again, the B9 for, again, the 2019 gamer that wants OLED. If you want the cheapest OLED you can find, that's going to be the B8. If you want the best OLED you can find, that's the A8G. If you want the best 75-inch TV that you can find, that's going to be the Vizio P-Series Quantum X or the Q8FN if you can find it. The 65-inch and 55-inch spot goes to the H9F. It is literally the best TV of 2019 in those two price points and size factors. So that's something to think about. If you need a TV for a small space, 43-inch size, the Vizio M series is the best to buy right now. Now, again, you can always look at other TVs, and I'm sure most of you probably will, but those are the ones that are going to be the best. Now, I can make a slight exception for like the Sony X950G if you plan on buying, like, let's say the 75-inch variant for like, you know, a little over $2,100 because you want the viewing angles and you're okay with taking the hit on the black level and the motion, then it's a decent TV and even fantastic in a lot of cases, but be mindful black levels are not fantastic, which is why ultimately I don't recommend it. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching yet another live stream. I hope you all have a beautiful and blessed night, and until the next time, I'll see you guys later.